All right, so I'm here with Dougie Forlano. So Dougie, I'm not really going to give you an introduction. I'd like you to introduce
Okay.
yourself and kind of just tell everyone a little bit about yourself and how you got started.
For sure. So I'm from Philadelphia, right outside Philadelphia, and always energetic, always passionate person. And I didn't even decide this, but I always was so energetic that I used that energy and put it into sports. Okay, so soccer, wrestling, baseball. That helped me a lot. And was always a motivated kid. Went to college, and I expressed myself even more.
Huh.
So what I did there was did the sports, but I was an extrovert. So I always talked to people a lot of energy, talk to people. And one thing that helped me a lot on that journey of honing in on that energy, bringing it in, the sun's rays don't burn, so brought to a focus.
Right.
And what helped me with that a lot is success tracking. I don't have it with me now, but it's my journal. But it's way easier than a journal. It's miles better than a journal. I write down everything I've done that day. I write down, so that's like a journal diary log. But then I do more than that. I write down my goals.
Yeah.
I write down my values, my purpose, my why, jokes, quotes, poems, stories, book reports, lessons from people. I'm here in the Hollywood Hills of the Muscle Marijuana Mansion. Let's give them a little show of it.
Show 'em.
Here's a view of it. So, but there's tons of tremendous people in this house.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm always taking notes from what they say. I always have it an arm's length away, writing notes.
Yeah.
So that's very helpful, and that really honed in a lot of the lessons I learned. So it really helped me grab a lot of lessons and gave me insight as I reflected in where I need to improve. Something bad would happen, some challenge I'd have, whoosh, just write like 3 pages on why I need to improve it.
Yeah.
So I got really hyper focused and sensitive on that. Then crushed it in school. I was exercise science. So I had some challenges, overcame them, won 5Ks, became exercise science president. And then what happened was got a 4.0 and was crushing it in school, getting a lot of goals. And that came from, like I said, a lot of challenges I had to overcome, which we can go into in another time.
Sure.
And that was amazing. From there, I did this internship at Pitt University, and that's where this conversation brought up, where you asked me about Elliott.
Yeah. So what was your goal from going to school? Did you have a particular goal? Because there's a lot of people who are 18, 19, 17 years old, and they want to go to college, but they don't really have a set vision or a goal or any type of place that they see themselves going with that. So did you have a particular purpose going into the whole?
Going into it?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
Just kind of following the path, honestly. Yeah. Until the first day of school. Okay, this is a unique story. The first day of school, I'm in school. And what happened was there's a motivational speaker there by the name of Joe Martin. Joe Martin, he is like a top trainer for teachers. He was a student in like Miami. Amazing story. Amazing story. And I've never seen anything like it. He touched, moved, and inspired me, empowered me like I've never felt before. One thing he said in particular that stuck with me and still sticks with me today, he asked the whole audience. It's funny because I went to that Lewis Howes event yesterday and they talked about public speaking, and I saw him apply a lot of those things, moving forward on the stage, like his movement and everything, his engagement. It's funny, I just realized that. Pretty cool. So that's something that inspired me to be a public speaker, was one thing. But the thing at the event which he inspired me to do was he asked the entire audience, do you want to be cute or do you want to be ugly? The whole audience basically yelled, cute. Freshman, right? We don't know. So he says, okay, let me tell you a story. And he told the story. And the story illustrated why you want to be ugly. And then he asked us again. And we're like, well, ugly, cute. He's like, cute. And he's like, and he told another story. And the stories were very powerful. His storytelling was on point. Now, here's what happened. He described the cute. He described the ugly. The cute people do enough to get by.
Right.
They don't ask for help. They get lost. So it's like all these things that, they try to impress other people.
Yeah.
And I said, I can't do that if I'm going to succeed in college. But he said, ugly people, ugly people, they do whatever it takes. They'll go above and beyond. They will ask for help all they need to.
Yeah.
and they have direction, or at least they're experimenting to find their direction.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Simmons says a lot of people don't have visions, right? Maybe in college you don't have a vision, but how do you get a vision? By seeing stuff. Me being in this house, I'm seeing so much. My vision is expanding and broadening.
Yeah.
And light is being illuminated on the darkness of what I didn't even know or thought I knew.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, man. You have a vision by seeing things.
Yeah. And that's the cool thing about being around successful people is, you know, you're living in a bubble to where you're like, oh, I don't know, you know, what's possible. You know, I'm from a small town, or like, I'm not sure exactly how big wherever you came from was, but you see all your friends there, you know, getting 9 to 5s, making kind of, you know, shitty salaries. And I'm not saying this for you. I don't know you too well. Yeah. So, but then when you're around this place, you're around all these people who, you know, set their own hours. They can make as much money as they want, as much as they put their mind to. And it really expands it for you, because what one man can do, so can another. And then you can that kind of just opens up your brain to all the new possibilities that are out there.
Exactly. I agree 100%. So that's what has been happening to me here.
Yeah.
And in college, when that happened, right after that seminar, I went and bought his book.
No way.
He signed it to Dougie, Stay Ugly. It rhymed. Then I read that book immediately, and I implemented it. And everyone was saying, I want to get a 3.3. Everyone said I want a 3.5. Or I heard a lot of people, older people, maybe juniors, seniors, say, I wish I did better my freshman year.
Yeah.
So I took that into consideration. I wish I had, or I should have. I said, not me. I set a goal, 3.7. Wrote it down. Writing down is powerful. So write your goals down on paper. It's tangible. You can see it. You can read it. Yeah. It's crazy how powerful it is.
Dang.
You can speak it aloud. It's not just in your mind. So I wrote it down, and I had all A's except one class. I failed the first test.
No way.
I got a D the next time. And I needed an A in biology to get a B for the class on that final test. And I'd go to the teacher's office every single day, Miss Schellinger. And I went at 6 a.m. sometimes because it was right next to my dorm. And I had to get that A on the last test. And I didn't get it. So hard. Those questions. It's like one could be the answer. One might be the answer, but this one's the most of the answer, or could be all above. Yeah, so that was cool, biology. And this was 5 years ago. But I went to see what I got, and I didn't get an A. I think I got like a C or D. Yeah. And I basically got a 75.6.
Right.
Like a 76. Okay, so I didn't get the B.
Okay.
And she asked me what I got. So what do you think I got this semester? And I was like, I wanted the B. Did I get the B? And she said, well, I think you're going to be very happy with your grade. And I said, Turned my head like a dog. What? I think you're going to be very happy with the grade. She gave me a hug, and I got the B. So I implemented that, and I got the success, and it felt so fulfilling. I loved it. It worked. I just doubled down on all those techniques. I have more on my YouTube channel about college success as well. Yeah. So that was big, man, going to college, and I just continued to enjoy the journey, and it was marvelous, and I loved college, and it was a really good experience. It is what I made it. They say drop out of school, but if you have something you want to get deep domain expertise, like for me, fitness was the time, but now it's broadened to more things. But I have that, and the connections of the people in college and what I learned about myself, it was a resourceful tool, and I'm glad I did it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I made the most of it.
That's awesome. Kind of what this whole show is based around is, it seems like you've already learned from other people's mistakes before you even had to stumble upon them. But this show's based around what would you tell your 18-year-old self to get to where you want to go? So like if you could kind of give yourself a strategy, a roadmap, a guide, just so, if there's viewers out there that are 18, 19, 20 years old, if they can eliminate all the mistakes that they could potentially make and kind of have a roadmap to get to where they want to go, like what would you say, for example, for yourself would be something you would tell your 18-year-old?
First of all, Kyle, I love this channel because as a 19-year-old, I wanted to know so bad with like 5 O's on the so. Yeah. How could I learn from these 40-year-olds that said they're like, what would the 18-year-old self do? Or even a 22-year-old, what would you do? So this is powerful information. This is a great channel then because that's very critical for you guys to learn. Why go through it yourself? Cut the learning curve. Ty Lopez says it. Yep. Warren Buffett, right? He says he's buffing the brain because he says this. He says you can only learn from mistakes, right? But it's a hell of a lot easier to learn from the mistakes of others. So that's something I took into consideration.
Yeah.
And what I tell you to learn is first, do what this channel, make that channel like a purpose of yours. How can I cut this learning curve? How can I learn? So that's like the first thing is to value that.
Yeah.
Is to value what the mission you have and what you just mentioned is to see what these older people would say their younger selves would be. Seek that out a lot.
Yeah.
And one tool to do that in particular is the library. You have a phenomenal books. I mean, this is a $1 million house, and guess what it has? It has a bookshelf. And the owner tells me you gotta have a bookshelf. We got some Brandon Picard here. We got some Seth Godin, Bulletproof. We got Mark Devine. So it's cool, guys. It's really cool to see that. And there you go. Read books. The other thing is going to be to success track. What I mentioned earlier. Keep a journal.
This is what you would tell yourself?
This is what I would tell. This is what I tell myself. Is that what it is?
Yeah. What would you tell yourself?
Or I tell like a random 18-year-old.
No, you in particular.
Okay.
What do you think could have got you?
If I did these habits even sooner, I'd say reading.
Yeah.
I'd say these things again. Reading, doing this earlier. Reading and success tracking.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing would be to meditate earlier. To practice gratitude earlier. These are things I do now that are just invaluable.
Definitely.
Just invaluable. Speed of implementation would be another one. So, yeah, all these things I'm doing now, all the habits I have, I'm so proud about.
Yeah.
Do them again. Do them earlier. So I'm rocking it. I feel like I'm rocking it right now. I'm still open as a book.
Yeah.
To learn more. I'm open as a book to learn more. Put it in there. I got blank pages. That's why I have a journal. I spend $60 on a journal, a blank book. Someone says, why would you spend that much on a blank book?
Yeah.
Well, I intend to put something valuable as $60 to put in there.
Yeah.
And it presses me to put valuable stuff in there and to do it.
Yeah.
So I set myself up to win that way by jumping off, like we talked about, being uncomfortable amounts.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of things I'd probably tell that younger self to do.
Sure.
Because yesterday at the Lewis House seminar I went to, we did this exercise, most powerful exercise I ever did in my life. I'm just gonna share it briefly with you guys. I might do a video on this. And it was say your day and say everything you have to do.
Yeah.
And I felt great. Everyone else didn't feel really good. So I was just so proud of my habits. So Lewis says, how was it, everybody? And I was like, it was amazing. And he was like, cool. And then we did it again. I choose to do. So everything in our day I choose to do. I choose to do this. I choose to do that. I choose to do this. And I was like, everyone's like, how was it? And I was like, it was super amazing.
Yeah.
And everyone laughed and it was fun. I'm like the seminar engaged person at every seminar and people love it. The next thing he did, he said, I'm blessed to do this because. And this was liberating. This was so all-encompassing, so far-reaching. It blew my mind and it blew everybody else's minds into smithereens, and I loved it. But it's funny how I was proud all along, and I enjoyed the entire process. I don't think anybody else did that. Because I was just proud of my habits, and I realized that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's key.
That's awesome.
Key. So I wish I would do them earlier. Because gratitude in particular is something I write it down every single day. That's good, but I try to feel the heartfelt appreciation and really paint a smile on my face.
Right.
Yeah, and if I did that earlier, and now this thing I did yesterday, I did it today, and I texted it to like 6 people I met at the event. 6 out of like 12, 15 contacts I made. I texted it to them. So I did the exercise again.
Right.
And I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And maybe the next day and the next day. And I might make it a habit. I'm blessed to do this today because it just shifts everything. You could have something bad, flip it around. Positive, a negative into a positive. There was a train one time. And it just made this noise. And I shifted the meaning. I alchemized it. And I imagined the Eagles winning a Super Bowl. And I jumped up and down every single time I heard it. Shifted the meaning. Turned shit into sugar. Made it, turn it into gold. King Midas. So there you go, man. That's powerful stuff I'd tell my 18-year-old self.
Yeah.
I'd have a long conversation with, as I'm doing now.
Yeah. How do you form those? Like, for me, for example, I feel like there's sometimes where it's like, shit, like I had a really long day at work, I'm stuck at the office all day, I'm tired. And then sometimes it's like my willpower is draining close to the end of the day. And I'll be, I'll want to just, relax, decompress for a bit. And then sometimes it's like, you don't get what is the biggest picture in what you say at least is the biggest picture in your life. You're not taking enough action towards that. So like, how do you develop those habits each and every day to the point where it's just, instinctual?
Retrain your brain, make it a focus. So whenever I am like willpower is drained, kind of accept it. I got in the habit of accepting it. So I might just like, I'm tired. I'm just going to lay in my bed and I'll read and maybe take a nap. Listen to your body. But am I hydrated? Is that why I'm tired? Am I hungry? Or is like, so I try and be super focused on what caused me to feel this way. Yeah. So I'm very reflective, very retrospective. We're on top of Runyon Canyon, a beautiful view over LA. Guess what we have here? Altitude. So I get altitude on my situation. I can see over everything. And that's key to have. Why am I feeling this way? And the willpower you mentioned, reading Willpower is a really good book, and they talk about that.
Definitely.
But another book, what's the book called? The Marshmallow Test. They say something fascinating. The Marshmallow Test is an interesting study. You guys got to check it out. But what they said about willpower is it's a story. If you shift the story to I have a finite willpower, I have a battery life of willpower, then that's what you're going to get. But they said if you have an unlimited willpower, why not say that story? And sure enough, your willpower extends. Yeah. So I've been doing that lately, and it's just like, my willpower is low, and I changed the meaning of it. I can't until I must. Yeah. Tony Robbins says, and bam, I now have a lot more willpower, I find. Yeah. So this is a story you tell yourself about what? I mean, I'm probably going against science here, that book recommends, but I'm doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so be careful watch the stories you tell yourself.
Yeah, that's
watch this. Elliott Hulse, I was with them at the concert. Me and him, and we were chilling at the concert talking for like 4 or 5 hours. Oh my gosh, it was mind blowing. I wrote it down on my success tracker I happen to have with me because I have it everywhere with me. And we were with one of his friends. Okay, he's helping out with the Strength Camp Challenge, and he said he has a lot of money. I mean, we were talking about money. Yeah. And this was revolutionary and it blew my mind. He said that he loves hanging out with his daughter and he gets to hang out with his daughter, but he doesn't have a lot of money. So here's how he said it. I don't have a lot of money, but I get to hang out with my daughter. Yeah. So it's kind of like an excuse. And Elliott said, well, then you will keep getting that. You'll keep hanging out with your daughter and you won't have a lot of money. Does that turn on a light switch there? Because that's what it did for me. So metaphorical. It's hilarious. So that's crazy. Because I said, I see. So it's all about your story. Yeah. So he had that limiting, disempowering belief of money. Sure. And Elliott brought it to his awareness. And he knew it. Elliott, you piss a lot of people off that way. And he's like, yeah. But it helps people. Yeah. So it's like, Elliott's always like, well, how's that working out for you? It's another thing he says. Because the story of, I don't have a lot of money, you're going to keep getting that. Yeah. You're going to keep getting that. So it's huge. It's huge, 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 huge.
Sometimes people just need to ask themselves, why not? Why can't I have both?
Why can't you have both? Yeah. Yeah, why does it always have to be one or the other, or drop something, or add them both? Yeah. Yeah, don't spread yourself too thin, but definitely do go for that. And it's funny what happened next. This is hilarious. He had he had a drink, and he spilled it. The drink fell, okay? Your drink right here. Basically, imagine everything pouring out. I was like, oh, man. And what he did next was hilarious. A deep belly laugh from this. He took that drink, and he was like, you know my mindset? Like, he knocked it over. It's his fault. It's pretty funny. Like, oh, you knocked over a drink. He's like, my mindset, bam, he dumped the rest of it out. He just dumped it all. He's like, abundance, baby, abundance. Yeah. I was rolling. And then he filled it up, and he poured out another one. Oh, shit. It was totally like alpha millionaire type stuff, right? It was funny. And then he made it, and he's like, get me another one. And his wife's awesome, Colleen. And she got him another one. It was just so cool to see that. Yeah. So the stories, man, were powerful stories. Yeah. So that was like an illustration of, wow, how powerful a story could be. Yeah. His story is abundance, and his life reflects that.
Like going back to Elliott Hulse, so you went from doing an internship first you went to college, then you did an internship at Pitt doing strength and conditioning, right? And then that led you to start working for Elliott Hulse. Yes. How did that all come about? Because I mean, Elliott Hulse is, for those of you that don't know, Elliott Hulse has over 1 million YouTube subscribers.
Yeah, he's a titan. He's a titan.
He's not the easiest guy to get in contact with on, a very personal level like what you did. So how did you, get there?
Preparedness plus opportunity. Right? Luck, right? No, not luck. I was a student of him for many years. May 5th, 2013. Not as long as many other people have been watching for. But I came home from a summer class exercise prescription. I was studying exercise science, so that's one thing right there. All right, studying exercise science. I had a background in the field, and I went on to YouTube. I was trying to find out some information about what we were studying, and there he was. And I loved his philosophy. I loved him who he was. Watched him every day since. Every day since. Every time he had a new video, studied his old videos, and just became a student of him. Practiced everything he said. I believed to 100%. I trusted in it. Now, I was more of a follower. But then as I learned more from Jim Rohn and Elliott are probably my two biggest mentors. And he said to be a student. So don't just follow blindly, but be a student, not a follower. So, but I was a follower for him, and then I became a student. And everything he said really worked. Anything you believe like 100%, it's funny how it could work. Belief. So I did everything. I implemented everything he said, and it really served and supported me in life. Then it helped me so much that I got one of the best internships I possibly could, but also one of the hardest, where I went to Pitt, and I had to wake up every morning at about 3:30, 4 a.m., had to walk up in the -7-degree, freezing cold, snowy Pittsburgh, climb a hill for 20 minutes, and then be there from 6 a.m. to it was 5 a.m. Class started at 5:30, but you get there a half hour early. Sometimes I'd work out at 4:30. Every day, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. I wasn't even outside. It was so focused with the athletes that I couldn't even develop a connection with them. I couldn't develop rapport because they wanted me to focus. And I was doing good. I was getting better. I learned a lot about fitness, and that it was immersion.
Yeah.
But I needed to express myself more, so I was having a hard time.
Yeah.
And even in one time they had called me into the office saying, you're really passionate, but it's focused on the wrong things.
Yes.
So, and then I tried my best. I really, really tried my best, but it still wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And they even, at a point, called my passion goofiness and my enthusiasm silliness.
Yeah.
So much so that it ripped the heart out of my chest. And you could tell by my physiology, like I have good posture. Boom. Everybody was like, Doug, what's wrong with you? And I just felt lifeless. And I even developed super stress. I felt like something was in my back. It was there for a month after. But Ty Lopez helped me. I was doing the 67 steps, did the whole thing. One of the things was scars, right? You can have a scar, but make sure they aren't too deep. So I didn't want it to develop too deep with this pain I'm feeling. Yeah. Right? The other one was, you can do anything as long as it's not too long. Is that how it goes?
I believe it's a man can do anything as long as it's not forever. Something like that.
Exactly. You can do anything as long as it's not forever. Yeah. So I did that for about 2 months, and then the other thing that came to my mind was do experiments, but don't run the experiments too long. Right. There was no end game in strength and conditioning for me. I didn't want to do collegiate strength and conditioning. Yeah. Especially D1. So the collegiate strength, I like fitness. I do strength and conditioning. Yeah. Right. Strength camp is that I can do fitness. Celebrities I'm training now, and entrepreneurs. But not the collegiate level. There's no mission. I don't want to do that. Yeah. So I just gone. And then I had to find a new internship, and that was hard. Yeah. Finished 67 steps, applied that stuff, and got a really great fit internship. Great fit, and I could read. It wasn't as much work, but I could focus on other things, which was cool. And it was paid, which was interesting. Then. But during the Pitt internship, I went home. I was on Facebook right after I got home. Yeah. After a 12-hour day, and I was tired. My feet hurt. Yeah. What happened was I flipped open this exact laptop. All right, it's a Lenovo. Bam. And I'm typing in it, and I see...
You got the Mac logo on the Lenovo.
I know. I got the Apple on there. So what I see was... I gotta take better care. I think I'm expanding. So what I see on it is a strength camp internship. I read everything, and I listened to it all, and the Super Bowl was on. I was excited to watch the Super Bowl, but Brian Johnson outlines books, and one of the books talked about a sacrifice versus a conscious decision. And it wasn't a sacrifice. It was a conscious decision. This is an opportunity. I'm going to get this 100% no matter what. Made 8 videos, count them 8, to make sure it was perfect. I did everything they asked for. I went 8 minutes instead of 5 they wanted. They wanted a written thing. I did a video instead.
Yeah.
I made a little edge.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I was prepared because I been making a lot of videos and sent it in to them personally because I went to the non-job conference, right? I made a leap and paid $500 to go to a conference.
Shit.
Gave Elliott a gift when I was there. I think that helped me stick out a little bit too.
What did you give him?
I gave him a King, Warrior, Magician, Lover costume. I was wearing it for Halloween. All right, so the King of Hearts, Wizard beard, and wand, and the Warrior sword.
Huh.
Yeah. And I should have had a shield with that. Would have been cool. That would have completed it. Maybe I'll have to still get him the shield. And basically it stuck out.
Yeah.
Ty Lopez says give people gifts, and if you give someone something they won't. And I didn't know this till afterwards. I realized it down the road. Yeah. It was like an aha moment. That might have helped. He says if you give someone a giraffe, they might not like you, but they'll remember you.
Yeah, reciprocity.
So there's a lot of reciprocity. Yeah, so that might have played a little bit. But I was audacious. I led with generosity. I gave gifts. I was prepared. I used his language. That's how I jumped off the cliff and I went down there. I booked the plane ticket immediately. Once I found out I got it, after doing a call with Chris Bernard.
Yeah.
And jumped off the cliff, went for it. Sure enough.
Did you have money saved up to go? How did you
I was investing in myself too much.
How did you get to Elliott?
So that was crazy because one of the friends I met at the non-job conference.
No way.
Elliott Hulse conference. Yep. Yeah. Gave me $1,000. Just gave it to me. He said, borrow it, pay me back later in the future when you're a millionaire. He just believed in me.
Shit.
So I was prepared with my videos.
That's amazing.
It is amazing because I did videos every day. And he must have felt the reciprocity. He just believed in me. So that was cool. That was really cool. And he thought he was amazed by me and that I got it. And he said, you have to take it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ed. Ed, he has Tour Box
Shout
Books.
out Ed.
Tour Box Books on Instagram.
Sweet.
He does a little book club too. So that was really kind of him. Then the next thing I did was I was mentoring a young kid, freshman. I had met at the dining hall.
High school, college?
Freshman at Pitt.
Oh,
yeah. Nice. I went to IUP. I went to a different school. I'm doing my internship there.
Yeah.
And I'm just giving this kid value. He's contributing too. But it was late at night. You know, Ty lives in LA, so he probably posted that thing late. It was about like 10 o'clock. I was about to go to bed. Literally in bed, ready to sleep. I don't know if I was on my Instagram or what.
Yeah.
But I saw it, and it was his first contest of $1,000. Cut, and just went for it. I didn't think I'd win.
Yeah.
But I did a good job with it, and I just kind of wanted it. As the more I did it, I wanted it.
Yeah.
So I made an Instagram video, and then I made a Facebook video.
Huh.
I put both on his Twitter, and his Instagram and Facebook, all of them. So I hit as many social media sites as I could.
Yeah.
I used his language, and I was persistent. 67 steps persistence.
Yeah.
And talked about I don't want the lottery ticket mentality.
Right.
But this would help me. Right.
Yeah.
So it was funny. And the next week, I won. So it was funny how I jumped off that cliff and kind of built my wings on the way down.
Yeah.
Or something people helped me and helped build my wings.
Yeah.
Another thing Elliott said at the strength camp was, if you give your 100% to something, wow, which I did in both those cases, that unseen forces will come to your aid. The angels, Dougie, want to know if you are as committed as they are. Yeah. So that's kind of what it was. So it was funny, man. Gave my best, and it worked out. Went down there, as you guys saw on the Strength Camp channel. I'm in a lot of the videos. Had an epic experience. Last thing I'll say was first day of Strength Camp, walking in there.
Yeah.
Was like the Strength Camp resurrection videos. There was this guy walking in when he came back off his 8-month departure, and that's how I felt. And I was actually listening to Lewis House.
Oh shit.
And and he was interviewing. I think it was Keith Ferrazzi or someone. It might have been Keith Ferrazzi. And he asked that question. How do you define greatness? And whoever it was said, greatness is going somewhere and making it a better place. Huh. Before you leave it.
So like leaving people better than you found them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sure enough, I had that intention as I went in there.
Yeah.
And I did that. I've been told I did that. I got, as you see, like this is the video they made. feel the fear and do it anyway. It was a tribute to me.
Right.
And that was an amazing video because they all like talked about they'll miss me as I'm going. And the card they gave me, with all the strength camp members signing it.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, I have an Instagram where I do a video every day.
Yeah.
He also does the video.
What's your Instagram, by the way?
Dougie Fresh 44, Dougie Fresh FRESH 44. And you get basically a metaphorical video with alliteration every single day, packed, bursting with energy. And this other guy's doing it down there, and it's super inspiring. I got a text by Farhan.
He's an inspirational dude, so I mean, you guys want a little kick in your ass every single day to kind of just get up and do shit. He's your man.
Thank you. And Farhan, and one of the guys said, "We all miss you. All the coaches, they miss my playfulness. Now I'm affecting this household. All right, I'm giving it to this house. So it's exciting, man. What a journey. What a life. I love talking about this stuff.
Yeah. How did you get here? Because you're not at strength camp.
We're going through my whole life. This is great. Another synchronistic, serendipitous story. Okay. This is going to blow your mind. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I said, are you ready? All right, here's what happened. This is crazy. So I'm at strength camp.
Yeah.
All right, we got a lot of cool people coming in. And not as often as we have here, but once in a while. I mean, Rashad Jennings, a couple other cool people. One was Jarek Robbins, Tony Robbins' son.
Huh.
Yeah. And he came in there, interviewed Elliott. And I had to meet this guy. His dad impacted my life tremendously. But I wasn't going to tell him that. I'm not going to step to him like that. Everyone probably steps to him like that. So what I said I'd do was, all right, let me watch his stuff. Let me do my homework, as Keith Ferrazzi says. So I watched his TED Talk. And I just went up to him saying, man, I admire your work. I just watched your TED Talk. I love how you talked about this, this, and this. Cool. And I basically shared how I met Elliott, because I'd be passionate and great story. And he loved my passion. Loved it. His wife Amanda was there, and she was a yoga instructor. I'm like, cool, I'm a yoga instructor too. And it was just a good interaction. A week later, I contact him on LinkedIn. I contact Jarek on LinkedIn.
Huh.
And I said, yo, let's go get some yoga. Let's go get some juice. Let's do some yoga. And he didn't respond to me for a while. But I'm out with Elliott at the cigar bar, just chilling. Nice night in St. Petersburg, Florida. And we're chilling with a couple guys from strength camp, a couple Elliott's friends. They're smoking cigars. I did it once or twice with them, but I'm a big cigar guy. Anyway, there's this bum that comes asking me for money.
Huh.
And my initial response was,
Yeah.
And Elliott recommends you go off your initial response. But then I thought, wait a second. I'm here in Florida on a beautiful night, about to go out after this, and I'm with my mentor. This is a dream come true. How could I not give?
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative for what I have. I'm so grateful for what I have. So I took out $7.
Yeah.
And I gave it to him. And saw that smile appear on that veteran. He was a veteran. My dad's a veteran. And on his face, it felt really good. He even told us a joke afterwards. Why does Santa Claus have so little kids?
Why?
Because he only comes once a year. So it was cool. It was a good joke. I laughed. Colleen heard it. And what happened next was Jared Robbins texted me hit me back up on LinkedIn the next day. And we ended up setting a schedule to do that. And again, I had to my brother visited me from Miami, 4-hour drive. And we were hanging out that weekend, but I didn't hang out with him that morning because I went and hung out with Jared Robbins.
Was he in Florida as well?
Yeah, he was in Miami. He sells tickets for the Dolphins.
Okay.
Big brother's a huge inspiration for me. And I go with Jared Robbins.
Was Jared Robbins in Florida too?
Jared Robbins is in Tampa, yeah.
Oh, snap. So he's close.
And he has a coaching program, which is very amazing, which is going on right now. So Jared Robbins, he does some great work as well. Very genuine, inspiring guy, authentic. I love him. And we had a great time. We talked, connected. I told him about Ty Lopez, how he has raised a book a day. He He has the second biggest book club behind Oprah. I saw him in person. He was really good, you know. But so he was like, interesting. So 2 weeks later, I see a picture of him, Ty Lopez, and Mark Dama. Commented on it. Wow, great to see you out there, Jarek. Mark and Jarek together. I told Mark he's a great guy. Like Jarek's really cool. And Jarek says, "Hey Mark, you know Dougie?" And Mark's like, "Mark, this is what Mark told me. This is Mark. Mark has a great story for this as well." He's like, "Yeah, he comments on my stuff all the time." He's like, "Oh man, let me tell you something about Dougie. Because when we went out to lunch, I really expressed myself."
Was this in LA?
This was in LA. I wasn't here yet. I wasn't here in LA. Okay. So Jarek was here. I'm back in Tampa.
Okay.
I'm actually taking a bus home from Miami, from Key West. I'm visiting my brother and sister. And what happened was, Jarek told Mark that I'm like one of the only persons he's ever met that hears all this self-development stuff and actually takes action on it. So Mark's like, I gotta have that person in my life. He needs to be around here. Boom, 40-minute conversation. We're both by the pool, we're talking. He says, get over here. I'm like, I'm over here. And again, jumped off the ship. Burned the ship. Got the ticket immediately.
Wow.
Yeah. And I had to figure out the money situation again. And this is something a lot of people wouldn't do, I feel like. But I encourage you to go seek out your mentors. And I like Mark a lot. I was watching his Instagram videos. He actually inspired me to make my 222 Instagram videos today because I saw him doing videos. And I loved his energy and plus everybody around this house. So I went out and did that with the money. So I couldn't find any money.
Yeah. So
how did I get the money to do it? You may ask. I started a GoFundMe account.
Fuck.
And I put myself on the line. Like, who's me? Who me asking for money? But, you know, I asked some friends. I made it seem right. Like, you know, it is right. Like, I'm going out. But I don't want to just ask for money. I want to, like, yo, I'm going out for money. And here's why I'm doing it. Sure. This is why I'm doing it. This is my life so far. And people wanted to help me. So I raised over $1,000. And I worked lifeguarding. And I had enough. I mustered up enough. Now I'm staying in the mansion for free.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. And that's how I ended up out here. Now I'm just offering tremendous value here, and they love me here, and everybody say they appreciate me being here. And I have breakfast with all the guys who live here every morning, and it's just a blessing. I really cherish it, treasure being here, and I treasure my childlike playfulness. And I encourage you all to evoke and awaken that in you once again, because it will give you an edge and will make you feel maybe annoyed by, some people might not be able to accept it at first, but over time they'll love it and they'll embrace it.
Yeah. And
I'm still working on, you know, the journey of life. We all have things to work on and unfold. Still calibrating, learning calibration and being a chameleon and trying to feel, because I can't just be 10 all the time, high energy.
Yeah.
So, but everybody compliments me on my energy, and I'm just very positive.
I can feel it.
And that's a big thing to have, guys. So that's what got me here, positivity and having good energy and being grateful and being a kid.
Sweet.
And wanting it, man, desire.
Yeah.
And believing I'm going to get it. I mean, not believing I'm going to get it 100%, but going for it 100%.
Yeah.
And then being shocked once I get in and enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man.
Pumped by it, just talking about it. Love it.
Yeah. Look, last question here. Ooh. So, like, what would, you know, you probably really fucking admired Elliott Hulse. Mm-hmm. Elliott Hulse was a big person in your life. And you decide, I'll let you finish that water there. Get that hydration in.
Ionized water. See, Elliott Hulse?
Yeah, so Elliott Hulse, you know, he was probably, you know, a guy that really just took you from zero to hero. You know, essentially, and you've always been pretty, from what it seems like, pretty big into self-development anyways. Mm-hmm. But it seems like he really made a big impact on your life. Yeah. So it's crazy just thinking about how, like, what made you want to make that transition from, like, fuck, I'm leaving someone who's made such a big impact on my life to jump to someone who you know about, but I'm sure you weren't as familiar as with Elliott.
What made me make the transition from where I was to where I am now? I knew if I didn't go, I'd regret it. Spoke to Elliott on the phone the other day, like a week ago. for about 20 minutes. He says, Dougie, you're an adventurer. He's really proud of me. And I think he was right. Yeah. I'm an adventurer. I have to go expand. I have to go explore. I have to see more. And it was a great opportunity. And I knew maybe, the strength camp could be there still. But my time for the strength camp did come to an end. And I was kind of running out of money. So I couldn't continue to intern there. So I went back home for a little bit and did that, and then came here. But what it was, I'm an adventurer. I want to go out there. Ty Lopez is out there, right? A couple other big mentors are out here. Lewis House, Jim Quick, RC, like tons of people. I want to learn from it. I want to go out there because you know what? Maybe I'll fail like Pittsburgh, which was a learning experience. But maybe, just maybe, I'll succeed again like strength camp where I was. And that's what I'm doing.
Dang, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, like, if people can't find you, or actually, what am I saying? So, they got your Instagram.
Yep.
What's your YouTube as well?
Dougie Forlano. There should be a link below. I'll make it put there.
Yeah.
Make it easy for you guys. So, yeah, Dougie Forlano is my name. And, yeah, man, it's an incredible journey we're embarking on.
It's amazing, man.
Blessed to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, too.
Yeah, because we have a great friendship already, and this is a great way to connect you.
That's
deeper.
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome with a capital A.
Second time meeting him, too, so.
Yeah. Wait, first time we met. James Swanek, 40th birthday party.
40th.
That was a good time.
That dude is doing big things, too.
Yeah. All right, guys. As I like to end,
Peace.
Stay fresh, stay blessed. Peace.